Basically, you can use emotions to achieve your dreams. Like, you got to think about it this way. You're emotionally compelled to achieve something. You wouldn't even achieve it. You would never accomplish anything if you weren't emotionally triggered by that goal or desire. It tugs on your emotions. You're emotionally invested. Like, human beings are driven by their emotions. They make a decision whether they're going to buy something purely on emotion. They can justify it with logic, but they emotionally buy things. Human beings eat emotionally. They call it emotional eating, when you just eat foods that taste good to soothe your emotions. The certain food will give you or induce a certain emotion, and that's why you eat it. You're looking to gain that emotion. And everything is just, it boils down to emotion. And you learn, when you know how to meditate, you are able to control your emotions easier. And think about it. We're so controlled by our emotions on a day-to-day basis. Our emotions could get us in trouble. Like, we can get in. I seen a video earlier of some woman like really freaking out because she got pulled over by the police officer for running a red light or a stop sign or something. And she was saying that she was in a rush to get somewhere. And she was freaking out to the point where and the cop was trying to like say, you broke the law. I mean, just give me your license and let's. And she's like, can you hurry up? I gotta go. And she's like freaking out. Long story short, she ends up just dipping on the cop. So this woman made her situation much worse. And she was purely reacting on emotion. No, what is so important that you need to go to jail? Like honestly, what is so important and you can be in such a rush that you're gonna run from the police and go to jail? It doesn't make logical sense. So when you see people getting crazy in public, they're really reacting on emotion. There's no logical reason for them to do it. Now, we can, on the flip side, we can use that to our advantage. So we can use a compelling vision of the future or even something that happened in the past to change our emotional state. Something that we favored. We may have a certain memory in the past that we love that we can revisit to change our emotional state during any time of turmoil or stress. And it works. And I notice I do this naturally once in a while. And I just was reading this in a book. Actually, a couple of books that I'm reading have this same sentiment. Even in Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, is it called? It's all about changing your emotional state and your feelings. And he says this, I mean, I haven't finished the book yet, but basically when you meditate, you're meditating on in these emotional states, and it changes your brain waves. You go from alpha to gamma to beta. Now, your brain waves and your heart are basically connected together. So, I mean, you learn a lot of this stuff, and I think it's really worth it to look into a lot of this information in regards to meditation, in regards to goal achievement, because it really boils down to this. Like, when you want to achieve something, like I said in the beginning, your emotions have to be involved in it. Think about the word emotion. It's really energy in motion. Motion. Energy in motion. So energy is like the most prized resource on this planet, right? It's like time. Time is limited for a human being. I mean, we can stretch out our time on the planet by living healthy and exercising and not destroying ourselves. We can actually multiply time by having more energy and getting more things done throughout the day. You know, you don't necessarily need to have a personal assistant. I used to think to myself, damn, if I had a personal assistant, I can do all this stuff. I can tell them to read this book and give me the notes. I could tell them to work on this and research all kinds of things for me so that when I get home from work, I can work on it and I don't have to do all the tedious stuff. Really, it just boils down to your energy management. And if you manage your energy in the right way, now you will have more energy to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. There is so much energy in emotion, in your feelings. Somebody once told me, you're a feeling type of person. And I said, wow, that's so true. I was explaining to somebody, a friend of mine. I said, yeah, I just love the feeling of, I can't remember what it was. I love the feeling of, like, for example, I love the feeling of being in a bookstore, drinking an espresso and having dark chocolate. Like, that's just an amazing feeling. Or being in a bookstore in some tropical location, eating a piece of dark chocolate and washing it down with a shot of espresso. That is a good feeling. So I describe feelings, and I'm a feeling type of person. I definitely am. I'm kinesthetic. That's the way I learn. I learn kinesthetically. And so, knowing this about myself, I can utilize the power of feeling to propel me and to give me more energy throughout the day. So some people learn more in an auditory way, or some people learn more visually, and those people need to see everything, right? So it also is about knowing yourself. That's why you have to know thyself. Because you can't really go anywhere unless you know yourself. You can't base your learning style off of somebody else's. And we all basically learn through visual, audio, and kinesthetic, but everybody's different and we have a predominant way of learning. It's a submodality, if you will. And so once we figure out which submodality we're more likened to, then we're able to make things happen on a higher level. We're able to have such energy that people say, damn, how do you get so much done? Like you go to the gym, you go to work, and you work on your side hustle. Like, where does all the energy come from? And they wonder, damn, where does this energy come from? How do they do it? That's the first question you need to ask. And the next thing you need to do is find out your learning style. Like I said, know thyself. That's really what it boils down to. And it keeps boiling down, I'm telling you. I use boiling down. I got to stop boiling things down. When we're not boiling stuff down with a Pyrex pot. We're just refining it. We're getting it down to its purest form of understanding. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Like King Solomon's wealth. All right? If I even think about it for 2 seconds and the camera's near me, I just turn it on. You know, sometimes I turn it on, I get interrupted, and I have to try it again later. But if I think about it for 2 seconds and I don't turn it on and just do it, like Nike, then I'm slipping. So it's just like that. If you're thinking about writing something down, you might have an idea that pops into your head. Oh, I got to write that down. And you don't write it down, you're slipping. Write it down right away. Just jot it in your phone if you have to. People have their phones on them 24/7. It's very easy to just jot it down in your phone. Then when you go back later, you look at the idea that you were thinking about, and then you'll most likely add to those few sentences that you wrote down in your phone. And then you'll keep adding to that. Before you know it, you have something pretty good there that's pretty interesting, that can be shared with other people. That's really what it's all about. Usually I notice when I'm tired at night is when I want to pull out the camera the most, because I'm busy during the day. You know what my challenge is? To just pull out the camera when I'm busy during the day.